The end credits are rolling on Harvey Weinstein's once stellar movie career. The Hollywood producer, whose films have been nominated for a staggering 300 Academy Awards, has finally been exposed for his extraordinary abuse of power and position. For decades, he preyed upon young, attractive women who'd been trying to make their way in the film industry. And just as unfathomable as the man's disgraceful lechery is that he was enabled by a coterie of colleagues, now accused of turning a blind eye. Tonight, Zoe Brock, who grew up in Australia with ambitions to be in the business, adds her name to an ever-increasing list of Weinstein victims.
I'm lucky to have gotten out of that experience with Harvey physically unscathed. The more that I hear come to light as the story breaks and keeps on breaking and growing, the more lucky I realise I was and am. I thought that he was creepy and I thought he was a pervert and I thought that he was lots of things, but I kind of felt that he was a bit pathetic. Now I realise how dangerous he is. I don't feel sorry for him anymore. I think he's absolutely getting what he deserves right now.
What was your experience?
So I was invited to the Cannes Film Festival. I was told that it would be great for my career and we'd meet lots of people, and we were invited to dinner. And I was seated next to this guy, Harvey. I didn't know him by sight, so I didn't know who he was. I had heard of Harvey Weinstein, but I didn't put two and two together. After dinner, we all went out. There were probably anywhere between 10, 15 of us all together. And we start driving and we drive out of town. And I ask where we're going and what the hell's happening. And I'm told that there's been a change of plans and that we're all meeting at the Hotel du Cap for a drink, which is 30 minutes out of town.
And did any of this alarm you at this stage?
At that stage, no. And when we get there, we all go up to the room. We crack another bottle of champagne. We're sitting there and then someone leaves and then another person leaves, until it's just the assistant, Weinstein, and I, at which point my alarm bells are going off. I know something is really wrong here. And I'm assessing the situation, and I turn to the assistant and say, where are my friends, what's going on? And he says he'll go down to the lobby and check to make sure that they're not having any issues getting up to the room. Stupid. I should have just gone with him.
But you believed him at this stage?
Sort of, but I was in that no man's land of starting to understand that something was wrong, not really sobering up fast, but still a bit tipsy, you know. And so he left the room and I was alone with Harvey. And it was sudden. He just left the room, came back in naked. Just like that. It was just full on. He was just suddenly naked and he wanted a massage and I didn't want to give him one. And I remember being quite frozen. He touched my back and shoulders and I quickly knew that I just couldn't let him do it. And I got up and I ran to where the bathroom was and I barricaded myself in there and he chased me. And he started banging on the door and pleading with me to come out and yelling at me to come out. And at that point, I was just completely freaked out.
What did you think was going to happen to you if you didn't escape, if you didn't run to the bathroom?
He was just getting too handsy. I didn't know what he was going to do. I was uncomfortable. You know, he wanted a lot more than I wanted to give him. I didn't want to give him anything. I wanted to give him my friendship. I thought he was a cool guy.
How far do you think he would have taken it?
By the sounds of it, all the way. I mean, he clearly wanted sex. And somehow my fear manifested into this bizarre statement that came out of my mouth, which was, put your clothes on, you naughty boy.
So you have to make this very fateful decision. Do you stay in the bathroom or do you come out? Mm-hmm. And you make the decision to leave the bathroom.
Yeah. He was sitting on the bed wearing a robe and I was furious. And he started to cry. And that was bizarre. And he said this statement that confuses me to this day.
What was that statement?
He said, "You don't like me because I'm fat." And in that moment, I kind of had this compassionate flash of, oh, Harvey's childhood, Harvey's time in high school. Maybe women rejected him. Maybe he just felt so insecure and unattractive.
Do you accept you were being manipulated in that moment?
Yeah.
So at this point, you'd already assessed that this was deliberate, that you'd been left alone
Oh, for sure.
with this man
For sure.
on purpose. It wasn't just an opportunity.
Oh, I knew. I had been played by not just one predator, but all his accomplices. Yuck.
Well, the evil of that must be confronting, that there are so many people complicit in such an act.
I hate the bro code. I don't like men that subscribe to this bro code where they keep each other's secrets and, giggle about what they do to women and manipulate women together into situations like this. I think it's one of the biggest problems in our society.
So as a 23-year-old, you recognise that that's what you were in the middle of?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think there's a lot of shame going on in Hollywood right now. I'm sure that there is a lot of shame. I'm sure those people are taking a good look at themselves. I hope they are. I don't think there's a word that I can say on 60 Minutes that I think I could describe them as without being censored.
Give it a go.
Fucking pricks. Selfish. Disconnected, discompassionate people. If they truly knew what was going on, anyone that truly knew what was going on all these years, there's, I'm an atheist, but there's a nice place in hell waiting for them.
What about the women who are involved in helping procure other women who would also walk away and leave them alone with this man?
So messed up.
It's all pretty messed up, isn't it?
Yeah. But for women to help a man abuse other women, I can't imagine what kind of woman would do that.
So Zoe, I'll just get you to listen to this recording made by the NYPD after a complaint was made to them about his treatment of another model.
I'm telling you right now.
What do we have to do here?
Nothing. I'm going to take a shower. You sit there and have a drink. Water.
I don't drink.
Then have
Can
a
I
glass of
stay
water.
on the bar?
No, you must come here now.
No.
Please.
No, I don't want to.
I'm not doing anything with you. Now
know.
you're embarrassing me.
I'm sorry, I
No,
cannot.
come in
No,
here.
yesterday was a kind of aggressive for
I
me.
know-
I need to know a person to
I
be
won't
touched.
do a thing.
I don't want
Do a thing, please. I swear I won't. Just sit with me. Don't embarrass me in the hotel. I'm here all the time.
Yesterday you touched my breast.
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that.
But
Come on.
are you used
Please.
to that?
Yes, come in. Because
No, but I'm not used to that.
I will never do another thing to you. 5 minutes. Don't ruin your friendship with me for 5 minutes.
I know, but it's kind of like, it's too much for me. I can't.
Please, you're making a big scene here.
No,
Please.
but I want to leave.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
What's it like to listen to that?
It's like going back 20 years. That's Harvey being nice. That's his nice persistence. So you ask why women haven't come forward. Imagine him being that persistent and being angry and furious and scared. Imagine what he's then capable of.
You look like you're almost having a visceral reaction to hearing his voice.
Yeah, I feel really sick. I feel really sick.
We're glad to see you're doing okay.
Thank you. Guys, I'm not doing okay.
You're not?
I'm trying.
I gotta get help, guys. You know what? We all make mistakes. Second chance, I hope. Okay?
No problem.
Thanks, guys.
What out of all of this sticks with you the most? What worries you or horrifies you the most?
That I was singled out and hunted. Not by one predator, but by a pack of them, it seems. We've all experienced, you know, one bad guy, you know, trying to get us in the sack or talking down to us or whatever. We've won. But when they worked in unison to separate me from my friends and peeled out of that room, it's like a pack of hyenas hunting together. Like I'm some kind of wounded gazelle or something, and separate me from the herd. I'm really lucky that I got out of there, and I'm really lucky that my go-to reaction in a situation like that is anger, because I think it saved me from much worse.
So despite what you've been through, you consider yourself lucky, one of the lucky ones.
Could have always been worse, couldn't it?
We asked Harvey Weinstein for a response to Zoe Brock's accusations. His spokesperson said any allegations of non-consensual sex are unequivocally denied by Mr. Weinstein.